Hi, everybody. This is future Matthew listening to the podcast that was recorded, and I realized that I was not connected to my mic. So, this podcast, you'll be listening to my natural voice via the laptop sound system. My apologies. Also, I'm just getting over a little bit of a sickness with my throat. It's just scratchy sometimes, and when I yawn, my throat hurts. If you know what that is, let me know. So far, I've just been taking Tylenol. Anyways, there might be some scratchy parts, and that could be because of my voice or the sound system. Either way, I apologize, and I will do better next week. Thank you for listening to this short podcast, and thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew, and I hope you are having a great day. Just before this podcast episode, or the recording of this podcast episode, I was on the call with Canada Revenue Agency, which, if you're Canadian, you understand how wonderful that was. If you're not Canadian, well, I'm sure you get the picture, because it's related to taxes. I had to call them because I couldn't log in to CRA. And I don't have my phone number anymore because I moved to Japan. And I'm very happy that I did. But a lot of the stuff that involves money involves a phone number. And I have to change it all the time. It's very annoying. Anyways, I was able to get through after waiting an hour. And I was helped, I think. But the person on the other side must have had a terrible day because they were a bit condescending towards me. Anyways, we're all good, as you can tell. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you not about taxes, but I wanted to talk about a trip that I had last Saturday. It was an interesting trip because, well, I had an idea that I wanted to go on a trip around my birthday because why not? It's my birthday, right? Birthday weekend, spring break starts, it'd be great. Originally, I wanted to go to Fukuoka, but I would have to take some days off, and I didn't want to do that. And also, with the time I would have taken off, it wouldn't have been long enough for it to be worthwhile in terms of finances. So I decided to put Fukuoka on hold. I asked my friends if they wanted to go to Kanazawa, which is near us. It's in Ishikawa, which is right along the ocean, and I thought that'd be nice. So I asked them, and none of them were interested in coming, which is fine. So I went by myself. And now I was gonna stay there, but I found out that I got tickets, or I got accepted. I was awarded. I won. I won a lottery for a concert in April, at the end of April. So I will be taking some days off for that. So I decided to just do one day in Kanazawa on Saturday. So the day after, I don't know what I did, I forget, but I did something. Went to bed later, woke up around, I don't know, 10, and I left at 11:30 a.m. from my house. And I drove. It's pretty easy to drive there. It's like 2 hours at least. 2 hours and like 8 minutes, so it was okay. I drove there, great drive, made it to Kanazawa, and the first thing I wanted to do was go to the garden because they have a really fancy Japanese garden and it's top three in Japan. It's one of the top three, so it's a very big deal. Now, I forgot to mention, but before I left my home, my house, I checked my bank account, which maybe was a mistake because I realized I didn't have a lot of money, which caused my trip to not be as great as I wanted it to be. And I'll tell you why. So I went to this garden, and around there's many parking spots around, but because of the time I left, they were they were all full. So I kept driving and I found a parking spot, maybe in like a building. I don't know. It looked like the Shiakusho, which is the town hall, but I'm not too sure. So, anyways, I parked there, and I noticed that it cost a flat rate of 150 and then maybe $1 or 100 yen after 30 minutes of being there. So, with that in mind, I went to the garden, had to pay $3 there to enter, and I couldn't take it in as I couldn't relax, is what I want to say. Because at the back of my mind, I knew the longer I stayed, the more I had to pay. So I kind of like I just walked around very quickly. I was zooming around. I liked it. It was very nice, but I wish I could have enjoyed it more. Also, there was a lot of people there. And I realized like as I get older, I'm not into places that are so packed with people. I just really want to enjoy it myself by myself. That's just the person I've become, I guess. So I did take pictures of the cherry blossoms there that were blooming. There was other things I took pictures of, but I left pretty quickly. And I noticed on my way there, there was a shrine, maybe temple. There was a shrine or temple that was right beside the garden, and there was food stalls there. So I went there, and I saw that there was chicken and a dessert type thing. So I got fried chicken, and there was 3 pieces, I think, and I got I don't know what it was, but it was a chocolate donut type of thing. It was very dry and not that great, but whatever. And the chicken was good, and that was my lunch, just that. After that, I was thinking of what to do. I was pondering, and I could go to the old town in Kanazawa, but I would have to like walk 20 minutes, and I maybe I could find a better place to park, but I had trouble. So I just decided to not do that and instead go to an onsen that one of my teachers recommended because he's from Kanazawa, not Wakayama, Kanazawa. Anyway, so I drove to that onsen. It's called Wakura Onsen and it's in Noto Shi. If you don't know Noto, it was impacted heavily by an earthquake at the start of 2024. And because of that, Wakura Onsen was not open, which was very unfortunate because I drove an hour and 16 minutes to get there. And it was closed. And it kind of felt weird. It was a weird vibe. Like, I parked, I walked around, excuse me, the hotel was under construction, but nothing was going on that day. The paths were broken. It was almost like a mini ghost town, and I just didn't know what to do. So I was like, well, I'm here. I don't want to drive. I was like, maybe I can drive home and find an onsen to go to on my way, but I wasn't, guaranteed to find an onsen. Instead, I found an onsen at Noto Island, Notojima. So I went there. It was 20 minutes away, and it was just, it was nice. I drove on a bridge, and I was kind of freaked out about that a little bit, but I got to see the water, and yeah, I went into the onsen, and it was okay. It wasn't amazing for an onsen. I've been to better onsen, but it was good. I was able to relax and that kind of stuff. I thought I thought it would be awesome just to sit down in the open air bath and look outside and to see the ocean, but there was a barricade that covered the view for obvious reasons, but I wish it was a bit smaller so I could see the ocean or they could do something to fix that. And then I went inside, did all that stuff, went back outside for my last bath before I left, and a Yakuza person enters the bath. Now, if you don't know what Yakuza is, basically it's like a gangster, and you can tell that they're Yakuza because they have a lot of tattoos on their back, and they're all connected. I think it's something to do with like how senior they are. The more tattoos they are, they're in the Yakuza gang. So that was cool to see, but I quickly left after because I didn't want to. I mean, he's probably very nice. He's just probably trying to enjoy his bath. But yeah, I didn't want to deal with that. So I got dressed and I had food at the restaurant that had at the onsen place, and I wanted chicken namban. If you don't know what that is, chicken namban is fried chicken with tartar sauce, so like mayonnaise and lemon, or just mayonnaise really, and it also has like a ginger sauce. They mix so well together. It's so good. Anyways, I was so excited about that. But when I went to order, they did not have it. So that was very unfortunate. So instead I got a tonkatsu, sorry, which is a fried pork cutlet set meal, teishoku, and I just waited. There was a person in front of me, and he got the same thing, and he was very happy because we both went to get our food, and he's like, "Oh, same," and I'm like, "Yeah, the same." And he was very nice. I was gonna get my chopsticks and he got them for me. That was nice, I guess. But I don't know if they see foreigners that often, so maybe it was a fun day for them. I had no idea. Anyways, it was decent, but I wouldn't order it again. I think I would go to a different restaurant if I had the choice. I was excited for the miso soup, but it wasn't miso. It was like very seaweedy and not great. So that was that. And on my way, after dinner, I went home. I drove for 3 hours, maybe almost four. It was 3 hours and 40 minutes to go back home. I decided to do that because I didn't want to pay for the toll roads. I did pay going, but I decided, you know what, like I can drive. So that's what I did. And I had a good drive, nice things. I saw a really cool building that I wanted to find later, but I couldn't find it. So it's just gonna be an internal mystery what that building was. Yeah, that's my trip. That's what I did. Would I go back again? Yes, I would go back to Kanazawa, and this time I will not look at my bank account so I can actually enjoy it. Or I would at least have something like planned, and I maybe could stay there for longer, more than a day, because it is okay to stay there for 2 hours, or like the drive is 2 hours, but there's a lot to do, and I feel like I just can't enjoy it if I'm parked somewhere where I have to pay, even if I have enough money. I just don't like it. That's just me. Anyways, I hope you found something interesting with this podcast. That was a bit short. I'm a bit, out of time, especially with calling the tax people. I'm very excited though, because next month I might have a guest. Maybe. You will find out later. I will talk more about it. But yeah, until then, I hope you all have a great day, have a great evening if you're listening in Japan. If you're listening to this in the morning in Canada, or I don't know when you listen to this, but have a great whatever. I'm not too sure. Thank you as always for listening to this podcast. And if you want to comment on uh, your travels, I would like to hear that. So please let me know in the Instagram. We have Instagram, we have Facebook. There's also YouTube comments that you could do. And yeah, until then, see you later.